If you or someone you know is a victim of human trafficking, call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 30 of the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. And joining me again tonight is Derek Relaford. How you doing, Derek?
Pretty good, buddy. Actually, no, it's been a rough week, man. I had a friend of mine who's interviewed a few times, and she talked about depression a lot on the episode. And she's been talking about depression for the last few months, and she sadly ended her life the other day. So that's been really rough on the Phoenix comedy scene. She was a big comedian here.
Oh, wow.
And then I found out a buddy of mine in my hometown is having some medical issues. So I'm really worried about, people in my circle. And, obviously things are going crazy in this country. But considering all of that, I'm not doing too bad. How are you doing, Ricky?
Not doing too bad. I'm sorry to hear about your friend. That's, I know there's a lot going on in the world, and people are having a hard time processing and dealing with things. And,
she made a post like 2 days before it happened, and it was very, blatant that she was thinking about it, and everybody's kind of doing the thing now, it's like, well, could I have said something? Could I have reached out, and you're always going to have those thoughts. And, I wish I would have, I wasn't like super close to this girl, but like people, I think that she would be surprised to see how many people are deeply affected by her passing.
Yeah.
Like Facebook's kind of blowing up. She left a big mark on this city, young girl. And so she left her mark, man.
Yeah. Prayers go out to her family and friends and everybody while they're coping with that. That's tragic. I mean, I know, like I said, there's, this a lot going on in the world, and people are having a hard time dealing with it and processing it. All I can say is, reach out to somebody and letting somebody know you're needing some help, whether it's a friend, whether it's a pastor, whether it's your boss, whether,
a stranger,
somebody. Call the suicide hotline.
And then that's the thing. I'm sitting here saying, like, I could have reached out to this girl. Everybody could have. And I'm guessing nobody else did either, and, we have to live with that. But at the same time, like if you're feeling terrible all the time and you don't feel well, I hope your friends are going to check on you, but you need to check on yourself, and you need to realize that things aren't right. And like Ricky said, whether you find your peace through sobriety, going to church, going to counseling, going to a therapist, seeing a psychiatrist, whatever you have to do to get your mind working right, just to take yourself seriously. You're worth it. You're worth being here. I hate that girl's not here anymore. Yeah. It's just over. This light's burnt, this candle's burned out. And, I'm just, get help. If you're out there struggling right now and you're watching this and the days are hard to get through, call somebody, let somebody know, send out an SOS, because there's you don't have to live in darkness. You just don't have to.
Definitely.
Michelle Daniels Wittenberg says, good evening. Hope everyone is doing well.
I hope you're doing well, Michelle.
Mason says the Wyatt Galvin case.
I haven't heard
any updates.
I haven't heard any updates on Wyatt yet. We can reshare his flyer, definitely. Make sure it gets bumped back up again.
Excuse me. Mason's saying to invite Caden Galvin. Have him message the page. We can get him on here tonight.
Sure.
Whatever. Sure. We move quick here at Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast.
We try.
We can and this is a great news. We actually usually have a large caseload every week to get through, but we only have 5 cases this week, so that's good. And we have a huge located safe reel. But the fact that we're only showcasing 5 currently missing people right now is a good sign for this week that, people kind of stayed home this week.
Well, let's hope.
Yeah. Well, usually we get, 13 cases a week,
Yeah.
And this week when I went to pull the cases, I noticed there were 5, and I was like, well, that's a good problem to have, that we don't have very much to talk about tonight,
Yeah, and there was actually one I updated the located safe not long after I'd put it up as a silver alert out of Wichita, and then that lady was found safe. I think you might have her on the located safe reel, but 3 of the 5 that we're covering tonight I did today. So yeah, it was a pretty busy day today. So
Brandy Cope says, any idea on the connection to the other 3 cases that Megan Fogelson's family has started a person for? Thanks.
I've actually been in contact with that lady. She's been looking into Charles McHenry. Oh my heavens to my Lanta. Alex LaRussa, Colton Barrera, of course, Megan's. And she's actually gone through and looked at each of their Facebooks and their friends lists and all that kind of thing. And she's finding that a lot of them all have similar friends in common. So her theory is, because of that, are these cases connected because they all were in the same circle of people?
How big is the town that all these people are in?
Most of them all had connections around the Great Bend area, Barton County area.
Okay. Because, it's not super uncommon for you to have, like anytime you meet somebody in town and you're not Facebook friends, you usually have some mutuals, So, but honestly though, and I've learned this myself, law enforcement doesn't have the manpower and they don't have the time to investigate a lot of stuff as lengthy as they should. And there's nothing against that. That's not a diss towards law enforcement. That's just being honest.
Right.
But you're with 2020 happening, these true crime podcasts coming out, people are not afraid to start asking questions. Right. And I want to applaud her family for doing that investigative work. And there's a really good chance that those people all having common friends means nothing. There's a really good chance that means nothing, but it also could mean very, big things. And maybe the police will pick up on that and look into that, because it is interesting that you have so many people went missing and, missing where we haven't found them yet. And they had mutual friends in common.
Right.
I would start talking to those friends maybe.
And I've seen her posts on her Facebook where she's got screenshots of this person's friends list, and they have this friend and this friend, and here's this person's friends list, same friend. Here's this person's friend list, same friend. So
we should have her on. That's interesting stuff. It's pretty compelling, that stuff matters. I'm working on some cases in Western Kansas, and I have 2 families where the police have it ruled a suicide, but they just don't believe it's a suicide. So that's why, you have these family investigations that take place, and I think they're really important, and I'm glad to see that people are still looking in and still looking for these people. Mason says Galvin was last seen October 6th in Wichita. He got picked up then. And
right. Yeah, that's correct. And I believe his latest flyer that I have out, I'm going to look here real quick. Let's see here. Yeah, October 6th. That was dated the same day that he was found and stuff like that. But yeah, we do have a flyer up. I mean, we can add it to the caseload tonight if you want to.
Yeah, shoot it over to me.
Okay. Let me
definitely add that to it. Yes, you should have her on. I'm glad she's looking into it. They all deserve to be found. I tell you, and that's another thing, especially in these small towns, what I've learned is that everybody knows each other. These towns that are like Great Bend's not that big of a town. Everybody generally knows each other's names. They might not know deep secrets about each other, but they know of each other. And one thing that me being from small town Kansas, I know small town Kansas. It's not polite to talk about bad stuff.
Right.
So you have all these people when just Megan Fogelsong, that so many people in that town know so many things, but they're not going to bring it up. 1, because snitches get stitches. 2, because people actually feel like it's like whenever you find out somebody you're friends with, their spouse is cheating on them, and you have that ethical dilemma. Do I tell them or is it none of my business? So people feel that way if they know something about a case. They're probably is it any of my business? And then plus, I don't want my name involved in this. And then, all these things go through your head. But whenever these families do these investigations and stuff, they'll talk to you one-on-one. They might not go public with it, but people know things, people definitely know things. And, and again, she is asking, why doesn't the KBI look into it? The truth is about that, they probably are. But the thing is about the KBI and any kind of law enforcement, they don't show their cards, and for a
Right.
good reason. You know, there's good reason they don't show their cards. But let's just say that the KBI knows a lot more than they know. If put it this way, if it's been rumored around town, the KBI's heard it.
Oh, I'm sure. And a lot of times what people don't realize too about KBI is they don't actually become involved in a case until they're requested to be involved in it.
Yeah, it's a bunch of like, you know, it's a bunch of red tape here, and you know, rules, regulations, all that stuff. So I think that what's really important, and I've said it a few times tonight, and I'm going to keep saying it. If you're somebody who's interested in these people and interested in finding these people, a lot of records are public. Just take Megan Fogelson's mom's lead on it and do what I do when I'm not working my full-time job or doing this show or producing other shows here at Back Home Media. I'm investigating suspicious deaths in Kansas. It's a hobby, but I feel like it's a good one. I feel like you know, maybe I can help shine the light and help law enforcement in some way by looking in places that they wouldn't know to look. And also, people are more willing to talk to a guy I have nothing to do with law enforcement. You know, other than the fact that I respect them and I try to help them as much as I can. Right. You know, so. Like I said, web sleuths are a thing. If you know anything about these missing people in Kansas, say something. If you don't want to do it, if you don't want to put your name into it, do it anonymously. Say something. Don't get me started on investigation into Megascape. I'm telling you, and that's very common in small and it's not even small town Kansas. It's very common in small towns for when anything crazy happens. It's just not normal. You know, like you think of small town police, you know, like it's a lot of, you know, helping people break into their cars because they lock their keys in there. You know, there's a lot of just, you know, driving up and down the road, pulling over speeders, people not using their blinkers. But, you know, you have somebody disappear. That's not normal for these police officers. They're not really trained for that.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what happened to me this afternoon. Speaking of, you know, them doing other things, me and my daughters were over at Billburg Park, which is a park that consists of mainly baseball diamonds, but there's a walkway that goes down underneath the Crawford Bridge. It goes over the river there. And we were all down under there on that walkway under the bridge, just kind of hanging out and talking and stuff. And pretty soon, all of a sudden, this police car comes down there. And I'm sitting there thinking, I didn't even know cars could get down here, but he come down there and asked us if everything was all right. Well, yeah, we're just hanging out and stuff, you know, and he said somebody called him and said that somebody was getting into a fight under the bridge. No. But it was really weird to see the police car pull down underneath this bridge because I thought it was primarily a walkway. But then I got to look and I was like, well, it's wide enough for a car. And he pulled on down the road, turned around, went back left after he made sure everything was all right.
Yeah.
Like,
well, okay. I'm glad he went down there. You could have been getting robbed, man.
Oh, yeah.
Stan Britt says, my curiosity is how much does this help find folks? I share all that come my way. Ricky, we've talked about that. We don't know if Ricky's Flyers have ever found anybody, but I know that they haven't done any harm.
Right. I've been told by several family members over the course of the last 8.5 years I've been doing this that the Flyers have helped.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think the Flyers are, and Stan, thank you for sharing them, dude. Like, honestly, the only reason Ricky's page does well is because people like you share these things, even if they don't know how much it's going to do. And, you know, it's like tonight we're going to talk about some cases that are not from Kansas. We understand that that's probably a waste of breath. There's probably not going to be a lot of people watching our show that are going to know people from, but there's a chance. And it's gonna cost us a few minutes to go over it and show a picture. So we don't know how many people these Flyers bring home. We just know that we're just trying our best to help. Ricky, what do you got to say about it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Yeah, we're doing our best that we can to help. And yeah, I do from time to time do some from out of state. Like we got a couple tonight that are out of state. But and I know this, I have people that I see in the comments saying shared from Minnesota, shared from Georgia, shared from California, shared from here. So I know there are people all over the country that share Flyers from this page, which blows my mind. But I mean, and I'm grateful that they do that. And I hope they keep doing that. But I like I said, I've been told by the families of a lot of these people that the Flyers have helped. You know, I was told that, you know, by some families that say, yeah, somebody saw the flyer, knew where my kid was, called me, and that's where they were. And
I have I do know these Flyers work because a lot of times these kids that run will message us and say, take my flyer down. So we know that the people are seeing them. Know, like
that's true.
The people that we feature sometimes don't like that their pictures on the site because they're trying to hide. Braden George says, I think the KBI is more focused on big drug cases and gun cases. Like, I think they probably care about missing cases, but I think they work on bigger cases. Yeah, but then you also have to think in that maybe a lot of these missing persons cases have something to do with guns and drugs.
Mm.
Maybe somebody knew something they didn't. That's a whole nother, small town. Also, you don't want to know something you don't need to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Getting back to what you're saying about some of these kids that message us wanting their flyers done. I had one kid message me and was like, take my flyer down. I'm not missing. I'm Gucci. I'm like, what does that even mean? I'm Gucci. I had to ask my daughter, she's a teenager. So what does Gucci mean? She said, that means fine. Okay. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I had another one that I did. It was for a teenage girl. This has been several years ago. She commented on the flyer and said she was going to kick whoever's butt that put the flyer up. And I was like, So I replied to it, and I can't remember what I said exactly, or somebody, I'm sorry to hear that, or something like that. And so we kind of started having a conversation out of that, and found out her main reason she was mad about it was I'd managed to get a hold of a picture with her most recent hair dye job, and she was going to have to re-dye her hair again, and she wasn't happy about that, and that was what the whole thing was over.
So we know people are seeing them,
Yeah.
And Ricky's flyers get shared. I haven't looked at this. Generally they're about 1.3 million interactions from Kansas Missing and Unsolved. So that's a lot of people sharing these flyers and trying to get people here. Let me see. Missy Reed says, this is so true. We did find Justin Reed, by the way. You guys still have that as an unsolved case.
Oh, thank you, Missy. I didn't realize that. I have to look and see. I'm not aware of that. I haven't heard, but thank you for that.
She said right after the flyers, they found her brother.
Oh, well. Yeah, I was never notified about that. So I will. How long ago was that? I wonder. Let me see if I can. Since I've switched computers, because my laptop went bluey on me. It must have been on. What was his name? What was his first name? Darren?
Let me see. Justin Reed.
Justin. Okay. I don't have him on this computer, so apparently it was on my laptop before my laptop went down. So I'll have to.
The laptop melted, folks. And by the way, if you see that link up there, patreon.com/KMUpod, beautiful people that help this channel bought Ricky a new computer because his melted. But he got 8.5 years out of it. That's not bad.
Oh, yeah. See if I can figure out this flyer here.
While you're looking for that, Mason Galvin says, I feel like caseworkers are not doing their jobs. You find a kid that's been on the run and you don't put him in detention or have the cops transport him. I feel like they don't care, or my brother would be home right now, or they say things to scare them. We talk about that all the time, Mason, about, because, so we're sitting here talking about kids that are running on purpose, and then we're trying to find them. But then, it's not lost on us that, what if they're running from something bad? Like we do realize that could be a possibility. We kind of have to try to find them though. And like I said, we're just a page on Facebook. Ricky's ran this page for 8.5 years. We're just a podcast. We are not law enforcement. We're just literally doing the best that we can. But I agree. It's a messy system. Unfortunately, that's the system we have right now. And like I said, we're going to keep sharing these flyers. We're going to keep talking about these people. And let me see. Thank you, Stan.
Was she referring to Justin Wayne Reed?
She said Justin Reed, 2019. I'll go check it. I have it in my saves.
Was his name Justin Wayne Reed? Because the one that I found was missing from 2018.
We will get that looked at, Missy.
I did track his flyer down on my Twitter, and I did save it so I can update it. So
we will update that and put him on our located safe reel. We appreciate it, Mason. Well, Ricky, let's get into some cases real quick. We're gonna run this one more time, just in case.
I love interacting with the people that are commenting and things.
This is really fun talking to the people that help share these flyers. Connecting everybody. We'll be right back after this, and we'll be talking about some cases.
All right.
The National Runaway Safe Line is here to listen and here to help. Speak to someone specifically trained in crisis prevention who won't tell you what to do. Join a forum where you can post your questions, thoughts, or concerns about what it is like to be a teenager or a parent. If there is something you have been wondering about, please ask, because chances are there are a lot of other people wondering the same thing. Remember, you are not alone. Go online to 1-800-runaway.org or call 1-800-789-2626.
All right. And let me minimize what I'm doing here. Okay, first up is going to be Mackenzie Lyons. Mackenzie is missing from Adele, Iowa. She's been missing since October 30th, 2020. She's 15 years old. She's 5'7" tall. She weighs 108 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. She was last seen at a residence southeast of Adele around 1:50 in the afternoon on October 30. She got into a black or dark blue mid-2000 four-door Honda Accord. She is on prescription medications that are currently not in her possession. She was last known to be wearing a blue sweatshirt with the words financial forms on it and gray sweatpants. If you have any information regarding Mackenzie's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Dallas County, Iowa Sheriff's Office at 515-993 or 4567. Let me read that again, 515-993-4567. Or email dispatch at dallascountyiowa.gov.
Do you know if those prescriptions are like keeping her alive, or is it something that she could go potentially without for a while? Have they released anything like that? Or?
I haven't seen any information indicating whether they were like required necessity. I would imagine they're necessity since they brought it up, but as far as whether they're like supposed to keep her alive or not, I don't know. And it does not look like that she has been found yet. I was checking with the Iowa Department of Public Safety's website real quick, and she's still listed. So just wanted to double check real quick. But if I find that information, I will gladly pass that on. And then there's some screenshots on the flyer there of the vehicle that were taken from a surveillance camera. Unfortunately, you can't make out the tag number on either the front or the back of it in those photos. But
yeah, well, at least he got that picture. That's a pretty good picture.
Yeah,
kind of. I mean, car. I don't know anything about cars, but car people would know.
Yeah,
what the heck that is.
Yeah. And hopefully she's all right wherever she's at. And Mackenzie, if by chance you just happen to see this, reach out and let people know where you are and that you're okay so they can come and get you.
Text a friend.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
If you're hiding on purpose, just tell somebody you're alive. Let's start there.
Yeah, definitely. And there's always the 1-800-RUNAWAY.org website, or you can call the 1-800-RUNAWAY number, and they'll be glad to help you if you're needing help too.
And if you are hiding on purpose, just realize that people care enough about you that there's a flyer made in Kansas today about you. Like, people are worried about you. So text somebody, let them know you're okay.
And I was actually messaged about her being missing and asked to make one. So just to let you know that.
People are worried about you.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Did you make this? This isn't the one you made today, is it?
That one I made, I want to say last night or night before.
Okay.
That's a recent one. I think it was last night.
You know much about this case?
Only what's on the flyer, basically. I wish they knew more. Only that she's believed to be, as Summarized Shirley, she's missing from Topeka. Been missing since October 30th. She's 17 years old. She's 6 foot to 6'3" inches tall. I saw that and I was like, wow, she's tall. Weighs between 140 and 150 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. It's believed she might be in the Kansas City, Kansas or Kansas City, Missouri areas. If you have any information regarding Summarized disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Shawnee County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-251-2200 or the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9551. or the KBI at 785-296-4017. Man, she's tall, 6'4" to 6'3". I'm only 5'6".
Yeah, that's
So,
really tall.
Yeah, it is. My stepson's like that though. When he was just starting high school, he was like 6'5". He's around 6'7" now.
You made this one today?
And that is one I did today, yes. When there Isabella Childers, she's been missing from Wichita since November 1st of this year. She's 16. She's 5'1", 100 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. Her hair is cut very short right now. She also has two nose piercings, a lip piercing, and a tongue piercing. She also does have some tattoos. I was unable to get description or locations of where they are at this time. I'm working on it. If you have any information regarding Isabella's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And again, Isabella, and same with Samaraya. If you guys are out there and you by chance see this, reach out and let somebody know you guys are okay. At least let them know you're alive. Let's start there, and then we can work toward, getting you guys back to a safe place.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find. There it is. Okay. And here's another one from quite a ways away.
Yep. This is one that I did today also. Carly Lane Gousset. And I've actually watched a couple of videos on her case today. She's missing from Chalfant. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. California. She's been missing since October 13th of 2018. She was 16 when she disappeared. She would now be 18. She's 5'7", weighs 110 pounds. She has dark blonde hair and blue eyes. She was last seen walking towards Highway 6 after leaving her residence in the White Mountain Estates area of Chalfant. Her stepmother saw her lying awake at 5:48 in the morning and went to sleep in the same room. Between 7:15 and 7:30, she woke up and realized Carly was gone. There were no indications of forced entry to the home. She left all her belongings behind, including her cell phone, eyeglasses, and money. The night before her disappearance, she came home after an evening out with friends. She was actually supposed to go to a football game with her boyfriend, but they decided not to do that. They decided to go somewhere else, and she admitted to her parents later that she had smoked marijuana. She seemed anxious and paranoid, and in her final text to her boyfriend, she said the marijuana had been laced. I did, one of the videos I watched this afternoon says there was a little bit of a discrepancy on who may have sent the text saying that it was laced, because at the time that text was sent, she supposedly, I think, was asleep or something. I can't remember the exact circumstance. So it would have had to have been either be sent by Carly's stepmom or her dad. They're not sure exactly. But it is possible she was disoriented from the effects of the drug at the time she went missing. Carly's biological mother, her mother and father were divorced, and he had remarried. And Carly stayed in California with her dad and stepmom because she didn't want to move to Nevada, where her mom had moved, to start over and have to start at new school, make new friends, and that kind of thing. But her birth mother thinks that she may have had an overdose on the night of her disappearance. But her stepmother says she thinks that Carly may have been abducted. If you have any information regarding Carly's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Mono County, California Sheriff's Office at 760-932-7549. And, any small little piece of information that you may have, call it in, because it may be huge for investigators. It may be just something that might help bring this case to a close.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Yeah, 2 years, a little over 2 years. I was watching, and in the comments under her flyer, I've linked her NamUs profile, her Charlie Project profile, and then linked an FBI link to her FBI flyer. And within all of that, there's links to a bunch of different videos that were done by her dad, her stepmom, her siblings, her friends, all talking about Carly and how much they miss her and the last time that they saw her and things like that. Pretty emotional videos. And even a couple of law enforcement officers even have some videos in there too, requesting information and asking people to come forward if you know something. So let's see if we can't do our part to help get her found.
And this flyer is on the KMU page, so go ahead and share that flyer if you could.
And from what I've seen, where she went missing from was pretty much out of a very desolate area, a lot of desert out in that area, a lot of semi-traffic up and down the road that she was seen walking on. One of the videos on that FBI link that I posted was from a guy that was up early that morning, and he was in his hot tub, and he said he looked out of these big windows where his hot tub's at in his home, and he saw Carly walking down the street and reported that, but they were never able to find her. Said she was wearing what looked to be like a white top and gray pants, but that was about as much information as he was able to give, because like I said, he was sitting in his hot tub at the time. So, but hopefully we can help generate some information and help get her found.
For sure.
Yeah.
Really sad.
Some people fear she may have been picked up and maybe being held and trafficked, which is always a possibility.
Yeah.
In this day and age.
It's not good. Let's just get her home.
Yeah. I mean, her dad and stepmom have even been on Dr. Phil and everything. So.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's sad.
And her flyer I made, because I was going through my Kansas Missing Twitter notifications today, and I had somebody was asking if I had a flyer up for her, and at first I was like, I'm not too familiar with her, and then I got to research, and I was like, oh, okay, because I had watched a previous video on her case, and I rewatched that video, and then I watched the second one, and I started researching, like I said, NamUs and Charlie Project and things like that, and put together the flyer. So,
yeah. Well, I'm glad we shared it.
Yep.
We have two more tonight. We have Will Saunders. Tell us a little bit about this case.
Yeah, Will is missing from Kansas City, Kansas. He's been missing since October 29th, 2020. He's 15 years old. He's 5'5" to 5'9" tall. He weighs between 130 and 145 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes. It is believed that he may be in the Merriam, Kansas area. If you have any information regarding Williams' disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get Will located and back to a safe place. And Will, if you're out there and you by chance see us tonight, I'll get a hold of somebody, let them know you're okay and that you're alive, and we'll build on that and try to help you get back to a safe place.
Just one text before you go to bed. Just one person say, hey, I'm okay.
Yeah. And I would almost bet some of his friends probably do know where he is and stuff like that. They just haven't spoke up. So if any of those friends are watching and know where he's at, speak up and do the right thing.
Yeah. And then finally tonight, we've been talking about it in the chat all night.
Yeah.
Wyatt Galvin.
Yeah.
Now, there was a comment I wanted to showcase. He said he's been missing for 4 months, and he said, Wyatt told me he is in the Salina area.
That wouldn't surprise me. I'm trying to find his flyer. I forgot to pull it up after I sent it to you. I'm batting 1,000 tonight. No.
We're doing all right, buddy.
I'm interested to find out about something my brother told me about today. He got a hold of me and said he had heard on the police scanner that apparently they picked up a female runaway from Topeka in Salina today and were taking her to intake, but they didn't release a name. So I'm interested to find out if that's somebody I have a flyer up for or not. I would be interested to find out. Okay, Wyatt Galvin. He's been missing from Wichita, Kansas since October 6th of 2020. He's 15 years old. He's 5'11". He weighs 140 pounds. He has sandy-colored hair. Last known to be dyed brown. Don't know if that's still the case or not. And he has brown eyes. When I originally did the flyer, it was believed that he may have gone back to Oklahoma City, but now it sounds like he may be actually up in my neck of the woods in Salina. If anybody has any information regarding Wyatt's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And Wyatt, buddy, if you're out there, get a hold of somebody, let them know you're all right. Just a real quick text, say hey, and then we can build on that and get you back to a safe place.
Yeah, start there.
Yeah,
you got a lot of people worried sick, buddy.
Yeah, your brothers are really wanting to know where you're at, guy.
It's getting ready to get really cold.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a pandemic. Yep. She says Wyatt's hair is about the same as in the second picture. Okay. So pay attention closely more to the picture on the right. That's what we're looking for. Yeah. That's what he's looking like, we think, right now.
Okay. I wonder if it's the same length or if he may have cut it or
with the pandemic, there's a good chance it's longer because it's not a lot of people go get their hair cut as much as they used to.
Right.
So it could be longer.
I've actually extended my trips to get my haircut too. I used to go every 2.5, 3 months. Now I'm extending it to more like 3.5, 4 months.
Yeah. Stretching it out a little bit.
Yeah.
So if anybody's out there who knows where Wyatt is, contact Ricky on the Kansas Missing and Unsolved page. Contact Wyatt's family.
Definitely.
Wyatt, if you want to contact us, we'll talk to you. If you don't want to talk to the police, we'll talk to you. We'll start there. We just want to know that you are okay.
Yeah, definitely.
We can deal with the details later.
Yep.
This is a part of the show we don't like to do, but we promise to lighten up things. As soon as we're done, we have a located safe video for you guys tonight that we're really proud of. A lot of located safe this week. We hate it when this happens, but we have a couple of located deceased. Ricky, you want to tell us a little bit about Samantha Owens?
I just know she was located deceased. I don't believe they suspect foul play in any way. I think it may have been another one of those instances we were talking about where things may have been a little bit overwhelming. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't ever heard or been told. But sadly, she was located deceased.
Hopefully she's resting in peace. And
prayers go out to her family and friends who are there coping with that. Sorry about that. My phone.
I got one too. We're both getting a lot of texts. So we hate that. And then also Marina Bischoff.
I think we might have touched on hers last time, but yeah, she was. They did identify her. The remains that were found, I believe, it was a creek bed that were hers, and she had last been seen leaving a police station after she had been arrested after a car accident. They felt she may have been under the influence of something or something along those lines, and my understanding was she made 3 phone calls before she left the police station, none of which were traced or anything like that. Supposedly they were unable to trace them, I guess, to find out who she called. But the remains that they did find were hers, unfortunately. And again, prayers go out to her family and friends as they cope with that loss. And it's such a sad thing when cases end up like that.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It really is.
Well, we'll lighten up the mood now. This is this week's edition of Located Safe. We'll be right back after this to close this thing out. Thanks, everybody that's been hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah. Always good to see located safe. I like when we do those. And I like the music you use for that too. That's really cool.
Yeah, it really works out great for that segment. And with the last 10 minutes or so here before we get off of here, we're just going to open it up to the chat room. If anybody has any questions or comments, or if you want to discuss anything, just let us know. Thank you for watching and sharing flyers, Brandy.
Yes, thank you, Brandy. And you're welcome too. Yeah. Thank you for being with us tonight, Brandy. Appreciate it.
Yeah. That's really I'm a lot of located safe this week. I love that.
Yeah. And I really do appreciate all the support this podcast and this page gets every week and every day, and all the flyer shares, all the comments. It's really good. Kind of it somewhat restores my faith in humanity to know that there are a lot of people out there that care enough to share flyers and share information.
Well, the beautiful thing about it is, we're smack dab in the middle of an election season where everybody's leery of each other. But when it comes to KMU, party lines don't matter when it comes to sharing a flyer of a missing person, and that's a beautiful thing. Everybody can put aside their differences when it comes to find missing and endangered children and adults.
Yeah. And that's what we need to be doing, is coming together, not being divided.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think we're all in this together, whether we like it or not. And I'm just glad that people share these flyers. Yeah. Like we said, Ricky's page is sharing 1.3 million impressions a month. That's crazy.
Yeah.
People are doing a great job. We know these flyers are working. We know people are seeing them. We know the people that are on the flyers are seeing them. So we know they're working. But if anybody is interested in helping Ricky with this venture, he has a full-time job, and he raises his daughters. On any free time he has, he's working on Kansas Missing and Unsolved.
Right.
If you want to go to patreon.com/KMUpod, you can become a team member. There's a bunch of different tiers you can pick from, and you can help Ricky keep this thing afloat. He spends a lot of time doing this, and spending a lot of his own money doing it. So if anybody wants to be a part of that team, you can join at patreon.com/KMUpod.
Right. And then when I add to that, even when I'm at work, I'm still monitoring the page, monitoring messages, answering them when I can on breaks and that kind of thing. So I'm still, even though I'm at work, I'm still keeping an eye on things. It may take me a little bit to respond sometimes, and I apologize for that, but I do the best I can.
Brandy Cope says she knows about our page to connection to Megan Fogelsong. She was her softball coach in Illinois.
Oh, awesome. I understand that Megan was quite the softball player.
Yeah, we're glad you're here. We're glad we all came together in the name of finding some answers and all this stuff.
Yeah, hopefully one day we will. My former co-host Ashley Dove, she's got her Megan's Voice Megan's Voice page.
Kansas message.
Yeah, that's it. Spaced it off for a second. And I know she's actively investigating all the time, still trying to figure out where Megan is. And so I know she's always out there, boots on the ground looking. So hopefully she'll get the tips she needs.
Have you heard of the Bricia Terrells case?
I have not. If you can get me some information on it, I will gladly look into it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, we want to thank you for stopping by tonight. It's been a great show.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of information. We should definitely have Megan's mom on, though. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can reach out to her. I think I've talked to her stepmom more than I talked to her mom, I think. It might be the other way around. I'm not sure. I'll have to check.
Yeah.
So I know I messaged the Facebook for Megan's case. I talked to her through there. So
yeah,
it's since I've messaged them. Every time I update the flyer when Megan's birthday rolls around, I update the age now and stuff like that, because there really hasn't been any new information to really update aside from the guy that was the main person of interest / suspect, Madden, since he shot himself, and pretty much took everything he knew with him.
Yeah. It's let me see. It's Asia.
Asia from
Davenport, Iowa.
Okay. Asia. And what was the last name again?
Terrells.
Trying to find something to write on here. Setting up my
two separate people.
Asia Terrell. I will research that and see if I can get a flyer made up and posted for her. I don't mind doing out-of-state ones. I don't like to overwhelm myself with out-of-state because it's a little more difficult to get updates on out-of-state, but I don't mind doing them nonetheless.
Yeah.
I don't say no to anybody.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching tonight. Again, go to patreon.com/KMUpod if you want to be a team member on Ricky's team and help find missing and endangered people. We'll be back Tuesday.
Yep, Tuesday will be my next day off, so that'll be the
and
next
it'll be me and Ricky and our good friend Janine Radke. We'll be three of us covering it.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah. She's been having a lot of issues with family illness and stuff, so she's going to be available. She's really excited about it. She was going to try to do it tonight, but a lot of stuff going on for her. But yeah, hopefully next week we'll have Janine with us. So
good deal. Be nice to have her back. She's a really good person. I like having her around, having her on. Is that her that does the 1-800 runaway promo spot? Is that her that reads that, or is that somebody else?
That's my wife.
Oh, that's your wife. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I like that spot.
Yeah, we're actually going to redo it because the audio is a little funky. We had the mic set up weird, but I like that too. I like that we're going to do some more for the show and everything.
Yeah.
The Bring Back Megan page. So one of our people that we've worked with in the past, we're a big fan of Ashley Duft. She runs Kansas Missing in Kansas, Megan's Voice.
Right.
And she's probably the go-to person to ask about that case. She knows it in and out more than anybody.
Oh yeah.
So she's like her page is if you're looking for stuff strictly about Megan Fogelsong, I would go to that page. And we have flyers and all that kind of stuff, but Ashley has really taken a deep interest in that case, and she has got a lot of stuff going on her page.
Yeah, and I'll make sure I keep up. I keep updating her flyers as far as when she has a birthday and that kind of thing. And if I find out any new information, I try to incorporate it in there as best I can. But like I said, really hasn't much come out since Madden did what he did. But yeah. And I made a comment before that he took everything he knew about it with him to the grave. But talking to Ashley about that one time, she made the comment he probably wouldn't have said anything anyway, which is probably true because
the thing is though, man, he might have taken it to the grave, but I guarantee you he told somebody.
He had to have.
So it'll come out, man. It'll all come out in the wash. It always does. Might be 20 years from now, but we'll find out what happened that night. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I got to get to bed. I got to get up early. Ricky, you can do your goodbye. I like your goodbye you do every week.
Thank everybody for joining us, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday. Until then, stay safe. Have a good week. God bless, and take care.
Well, I don't think it, I thought it, that's different. I said what I said and I meant it, or lamented. Words given weight without thought in a person, the way that I talk and the way that I ought to be able to pause and to say that the fault can be placed on my arms. To this playful assault, to disgrace in its arm. Pray for the day they could wait for the calm. You can't control the storm, only weather it, whether it's 5 weeks and 5 days of rain sideways, or scorched earth, search for death or water left with all the thorns, with the petals gone, settle on the breath of autumn. If the crown fits, wear it, the crown fits. If the crown fits,